did not know what to say. This is a friend of mine who's been with me for 7 years. We've studied through university together, and there was nothing I could do for her. She called me the next day and she's like, Sanjay, Philip has passed away. You know, if he would have paid me $320, I would have paid out $700,000 to his family. The application was incomplete. There was no check attached to it. So when a client today tells me, Sanjay, I need time, what are you going to say? You know, if she calls me even today at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would not only pick up her phone, I'll do whatever she asks me to do. Because I feel guilty. I had the power to protect that family, and I did not. When a client tells you, let me think about it. Mr. Client, you have 3 weeks to think about it. Let me put the cover in effect. We have a free look period. Go ask your family, go ask your wife, go ask whoever you want. But let me keep you covered. Because if you have already made a decision that this is what you need, let us implement it, because I don't know if you will have the right time to implement it. That free look period is there, and we will return 100% of your premium back to you. This business is what we do. How many of us are ready to live with that guilt? Till today, it's been 5 years since that event. I still feel so guilty. When we traveled to this conference, some of us came in cars, some of us came in aircrafts. When we travel in an aircraft, the first thing they show you is a safety video. If the oxygen pressure falls in the aircraft, the oxygen mask will fall down. Help yourself even before you help your own child. How many of us have protected our families? See, we are the doctors in this profession. If we don't believe in our own medication, how do you think it would be to prescribe that medication to our clients? You need to believe in your own medication. Show your clients a copy of the product you have purchased. See, everyone likes to copy. It's human tendency. We love to copy. We have copied as children. Why not today? Why not copy today? So you can show what you have for yourself to your clients. Mr. Client, I have purchased this for myself, for my family. What have you done for yours? You see, when I started in this business, I was 17, and I was asked a very important question. Sanjay, why are you joining this business? And the answer is by mistake. How many of us get into our professions by mistake? Well, I got into my profession by mistake, and one of the questions that was asked to me was, why do you not regret it? Because we usually regret mistakes, correct? So the question is, why do I not regret my mistake? And the answer is, well, I got good at doing it. And if you get good at doing anything you do, you don't regret it. When I was 17, my father told me a very interesting story. He said, Sanjay, you're going to inherit a business. So yes, I'm not one of those self-made men that people claim to be. I got to inherit an empire of business. But let me tell you, that's even more tough. Because I had to start at the high, not the low. And I had to take the high to a higher, and not from a low to a high. See, a lot of people think it's very easy to take over an empire that's already running. Trust me, you're filling in shoes that are bigger than your own feet. And that's the reason why it was even more difficult to do what I do. He said, Sanjay, when you come into my shoes, you will have people working for you who have got way more experience than you, who have got a lot more education than you. who are going to be a lot more experienced than you are. How are you going to compete with that? Not only that, they're going to ask you a very important thing. Anytime they get stuck, they will come to you for advice. You see, that was the job of a leader, right? Anyone gets stuck, come to me. Now they'll come to me when I don't even know the ABC of my business. I was 24 when my father had a brain stroke, and I had to inherit the business from him. I was just 24. I was straight out of high school, university. I did not know what to expect. 9 months into the business, and I actually almost shut it down. I lost so much money that we almost ran the business down to the ground. So I grew that empire into a peanut. And I could do that in 9 months. Anyone tried that? Anyone wants to try that? It's an achievement. Exactly. I did it in 9 months. And then I sat down with my father and I said, Dad, I think there's two things that's going to happen. One, either I'm going to run the business to zero, into the ground, or I'm going to go nuclear. I'm going to explode so much that people will wonder what I do. He said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. But I'm going to do something crazy. And that's when I reimagined my business. And the last 9 years, we have now grown into 53 countries. We have gone 1,000% in turnover. And the next year already looks phenomenal. There was only one crazy thing that I did. I reimagined what my business can do. But then when I was getting my life membership, I said, why don't I make this my record year? So at the age of 28, when I was getting my life membership, I said, I'm going to set a new record for myself. And that was the first time I did 6 TOTs in 1 year. Then one of my friends was joking with me. He said, Sanjay, if you can do 6, why don't you do TOT every month? A joke here. I didn't even know it was possible, right? So 2016, I said, you know what? I'm going to run for TOT every month. So in 2016, I didn't hit my target. I did 10 TOTs in 1 year. Don't clap, I didn't hit my target. It's very easy to set targets. If you don't hit them, don't be happy about it. So 2017, I ran again. And I was aiming for 12 MDRT, TOT every month. So in 2017, I did 13 TOTs. In 2018, they asked me, what's your target? I said, my target 2018 is 100 MDRT in 1 year. That is 18 times top the table in 1 year. 2018, I missed my target, I did 90. So 2019, I set the target, and I'm going to do 100 MDRT. And as of 30th September 2019, I had hit my 100 MDRT. So someone asked me, Sanjay, what's your target for 2020? What should be my target, guys? 200? 365 MDRT. MDRT every day. Is it possible? There's a problem. I don't believe it. You You see, that's the problem. In our business, there are two things you require to be successful. You need the right mindset and you need the right skill set. I might have the skills, but my mind still doesn't agree that I can do one MDRT every day. And that's my challenge. And the reason why I'm telling you my target is that it reinforces my mind that it should be possible. It should be possible. Because as of today, I've already finished one TOT. Third day into the year. So I'm technically doing 2 MDRTs every day for the last 2 days. Correct? So 100% of my business comes through recommendations. All right? Let me give you the process that I follow. Number 1, I do not ask referrals because I believe referrals are dead. And I'll tell you the reason why I believe referrals are dead. Referrals are dead because if I get your name and number, it has no meaning. So for example, what's your name, sir? Dennis, right? Dennis, who is your best friend? Throw me a random name. Don't tell me truly.
John.
John. What's his number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I call up John and I say, hi John, I got a referral. I got your number from Dennis. John might say, who Dennis? So now I'm going to spend talking about Dennis. That's one potential answer. Second potential answer is, why did Dennis give you my number? Now I'm explaining to him why Dennis is a nice guy and why I'm a nice guy to Dennis. True or not? The third option would be, yeah, but I'm busy right now, I don't want to talk to you. True or not? So those are referral responses. I don't like that. So I don't like asking for referrals. I ask for recommendations. So the difference is, I would tell you this. I'd say, Dennis, you have been a client of mine for quite a while. Why have you never recommended me to anyone? The reason why you've never recommended me is because you don't know who to recommend me to. Am I correct? You have thousands of friends, right? So why don't I tell you who I like to work with? And this is where I give you my client avatar, which is what Harris was talking about. I like to work with a teacher who is in her 30s, is married. Do you know someone like that? The answer will be yes or no. If the answer is no, well, I also like to work with, and I would give my second avatar who I like to work with, which would be a little bit more generic. So I like to also work with doctors or lawyers. Do you know someone like that? The answer would usually be yes. If the answer is no, what should you say? Not I also like. No. Who the hell do you know, Dennis? If by the second time you don't get an answer, then the answer is, who the hell do you know, Dennis? Come on. I thought you have thousands of friends. Right? That's step 1. Step 2. Dennis, the other reason why you've never recommended me is because you don't know what to say about me. Am I correct? You see, I don't want to be introduced as your financial advisor because then I am under the pressure of working with them even if I don't like them. So I don't want to be introduced as a financial advisor. I want to be introduced as your friend who is dash. You choose your personality type. Funny, exciting, whatever. And if they ask you what I do, which they will, what should you say? You tell them, I do a lot of things. But that's not the purpose of meeting. The reason for meeting him is because he's a fun guy to meet or whatever. That's step 2. Now, would you mind calling, who is that person that you know? So you might say, John. Would you mind calling John for me? Because you see, you're very busy, I'm very busy. Your schedule is open, my schedule is open. We both know when we both are free. Let John tell us when he's free and 3 of us meet together. I don't like to meet John alone. I want him to meet you with me. You're buying us coffee. It looks very random, right? I pay for coffee when you're introducing me as your friend. Can't you buy coffee? Yes, you can. How many of you feel you are obligated to pay for the bill? Stop feeling that. Give you a simple example. You go to the doctor treats you. You recommend the doctor to somebody else. Does the doctor treat you? No. After the surgery, do you take the doctor out or does the doctor take you out? Thank you for falling sick. Please fall sick again. Let's go for dinner. No. Stop feeling obligated. You are the doctor in the scenario. Never ask after the sale. Asking recommendations is always in a social setting. So if a client has just purchased a policy, you don't do a recommendation. Usually 3 years into the relationship is when you ask for a recommendation, because now they trust you enough. That's what I would recommend. If you're a new advisor, I would wait at least 6 months before I ask for a recommendation. And I would only ask recommendation from a client with whom you have built a relationship after the sale. You never build a relationship before the sale. I'll give you an example. Dennis and I are best friends. I do a presentation to Dennis. What is usually the answer I will get from Dennis? I want to compare with someone else. True or not? How many of you have had that? Your best friend tell you, I still want to compare. Where's the value of the relationship? Not there. Relationship doesn't matter. So do your presentation. If your best friend says, I will compare, what should you tell them? Where's my flip chart, Sky? How do you handle the objection when someone says, I want to compare you with somebody else? You follow the same process. Acknowledge it. I'm so glad you want to compare and you are thinking about seriously. But let me ask you a question. Did you know that all the insurance companies are the same? You die, we pay. You fall sick, we pay. You retire, we pay. You go to college, we pay. We're all very competitive. Then what are you going to compare? All the products are exactly the same. However, since you want the time to compare, why don't I do this for you? I will give you 21 days free time to sit and compare with whoever you like. Sign here. My presentation starts with a very simple question. What is your lucky number? How many single men in the hall? That's how you ask a girl out. What's your lucky number? So let's say, very simple, what's your lucky number? 8. He's so Chinese. Every time I meet Chinese, they tell me 888. I meet Hindus, they tell me 108. I meet Muslims, they tell me 786. Some people tell me 13 is unlucky. Some people tell me 9 is magic. What we realize is numbers are important in people's life, but the most important number in the world is 28,000. Because 28,000 is the average number of days a person lives, which is equal to 76.71 years. Let's assume it's approximately 80. Now, I like to break this 80 into 4 parts. 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80. 0 to 20, what do? Study, play, fool around. 20 to 40, we get our first job. We get our first car. We buy our first house. You get a first house before you get married, my friend. Because I heard that. First wife. No, I'm just kidding. We get married. You have kids. Am I correct? 40 to 60, you'll probably change your job or move up in your career. You'll get a second job. You'll probably get a second car. It's 20 years you're driving a piece of junk. You'll probably buy a second house as an investment. Second wife you cannot afford. But your kids are finishing their first part of life. 60 to 80, we hope to retire. Now, this part of my life is the most important. Why? Because there is no income. So we started with how many days? 28,000 days minus half. That's 14,000. So we all have 14,000 days to achieve all our dreams. Our kids' dreams, our parents' dreams, whatever dreams we have, we've got 14,000 days to achieve it. Now I'm going to ask a very rude question. Don't worry, I won't ask the women. How old are you? 28. All right, so you're here. That's finished. You only have that much time left. That's it. During this period of time, we have identified 4 fears. My first fear, what if I cannot work to 60? You see, if I worked till 60, the only thing left was to retire. My second fear is, what if I don't reach 60? My third fear, how much is enough to retire? How much is enough? $1 million, $5 million, $10 million? How much is enough? There is a number. And my fourth fear is, can I make sure that my children start life with the right foundation? And the best foundation is a good education. Now, I've done this presentation in more than 50 countries. I haven't found a fifth fear. Well, not true. I met one guy who said, Sanjay, I have a fifth fear. I said, what fear do you have? He said, Sanjay, I am scared that when I grow old, I will be very lonely. So I told him, I said, uncle, by the way, anyone older than me is uncle, it's just simpler. I said, uncle, if you have money, no one will allow you to be lonely. No money, no honey. So truly, all you need is a lot of money. So we found out there are only 4 fears in the world. What's the first fear? What if I don't reach 60? Or what if I cannot work to 60? That's the first fear. What is the product that we use for that? Income protection, which some of you call critical illness. It's income protection. Our industry made a mistake. The mistake that our profession has made is they've called a product critical illness. So when you ask a client, Mr. Client, would you like to buy some critical illness? It doesn't really sound very good. You know, I asked a client once, because I was quite naive in the business many years ago. I asked a client, I said, Mr. Client, I think you should buy critical illness. He's like, which one are you selling? My wife already gave me a heart attack. That's when I realized the choice of words is horrible. So instead of calling the product critical illness, I started calling it income replacement. And then I had a client once who said, Sanjay, can I give you personal advice? I said, yeah. He's like, you know, when you say the word income replacement, I feel like you're replacing me. I don't like to be replaced. And that's when I came up with the word income protection. So I focus on the word income protection. And the reason is, it's got a positive note to it. Second, when I ask the question, do you want your income to be protected? What's the logical answer to that question? Yes, exactly. If someone says no, what should you do? You look at them and wonder why. Huh? What's wrong with you? Which person doesn't want the income to be protected? Seriously. You see, if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answer. So our industry made that mistake. Can we stop making that mistake? Yes. So from now onwards, instead of using the words critical illness protection, critical illness insurance, can you just say the word income protection? Yes. Can we agree to that? By the way, guys, that's step number 1, learning to use the right words. That's step 1. What's the second fear? What if I don't reach 60? Now, what can stop you from reaching 60? You pass away. Simple. What product do we use for that? Life insurance, period. Is there any alternative to that product? Is there an alternative to life insurance? There is none. There is no product that can be compared to life insurance. No product in the world. Because life insurance creates money that doesn't even exist. Life insurance creates money that doesn't even exist. How can you compare that to any product? You can't compare it to property, you can't compare it to investments, you can't compare it to gold, you can't compare it to business, you can't compare it to a fixed deposit. How do you compare something that creates money that doesn't even exist? What's our third fear? How much money is enough to retire? Correct? So how do you do retirement planning? What's the formula for retirement planning? Okay, how many glasses of water should you drink in a day? How many? 8. Who told you? The doctor. Okay. Everyone knows, correct? You should drink how much water every day? 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. Am I correct? Okay. Is that something that everyone knows? Yes. So how much money should you have for retirement? Why don't you have the answer to that question? How many of you need to do fact finding to give me that answer? What's the formula, guys? Come on. 20% of whatever you earn, you save for retirement, period. 20% of whatever you earn. That's it, period. That's the formula. What's the formula if you're single? 25. You think your wife is only going to cost you 5%? Congratulations. What's the formula if you're single? 60% of whatever you earn. If you're single and you cannot save for 60% of whatever you earn, by the way, guys, this is not written in any book in the world. But let me give you the logic behind it, because I did this in my PhD. If you cannot save 60% of your income when you're single, you can't afford to get married. If you are a couple, no children, how much money should you be saving? 40% of whatever you earn. Otherwise, you can't afford to be parents. Do you see the simple logic to it? Every individual addition in your family will cost you 20% of your income. Ouch. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Because every time I work with singles, they're like, hey bro, I can't get married. I said, I know. So let's start preparing for it. When you have the least responsibility, you should be saving more. When you have the maximum responsibility, you cannot save that much. So you come down to the most basic formula, which is 20% of whatever you earn. So you start here and you slowly reduce your saving as you change your lifestyle. Have you ever heard this before? No. Why? There's no book on this. There's no training that's ever been built on this actual formula. That's the formula for retirement planning. Now let's say I meet with a client and he says, Sanjay, but I already have a lot of insurance. Correct? You get that objection, right? Let's do it. Mr. Client, I'm so glad you told. Mr. Client, I think you're a very smart person. I'm sure you already have insurance. Am I correct? Yeah, Sanjay, I have insurance, but I don't know how much I have. Isn't this the answer you get? Okay, so Mr. Client, let's do one thing. The amount of insurance you need to buy is 10 times of your annual income. All right? You don't know how much insurance you have. So why don't I do one thing? I will apply for 10 times. Check how much you have. We will just subtract it. So let's say you have got 4 times of your annual income already. We just need to buy 6. I'll apply for 10. I can always reduce. Do you have any other question? No? Okay, sign here. Whatever you have, I'll reduce it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong in that. Everyone has some insurance, true or not? All right, we'll just reduce it from what you have. But Sanjay, how much will it cost? That's another objection, right? Mr. Client, I'm so glad you asked. Well, you see, it should approximately cost you around 1%. but it will only depend on two very important things. Insurance is based on two factors, age and health. Now the only question you have to answer, I already know your age, are you healthy? What is the usual answer? Yes, even if they're not. True or not? Right. Mr. Client, are you healthy? Yes. Okay. Can I get a third party to verify that you're healthy? Because I need a doctor to certify that you're healthy. So should I book a medical on Wednesday or Thursday? Which one would you prefer? What is the usual answer? Don't care. Then they will say, no, let me think about it. Mr. Client, even I'm thinking about it. We're just making sure that we've got the paperwork correct. We're not making a decision because everything is based on two factors, age and health. You say you're healthy, the medical doctor has to also say the same thing. No, I recently did a medical test. I'm so glad you did the medical test, but that is not valid. We check your health as